All right, everybody. So a little something different for our Sunday fun today. This is growing up in the 1970s. 17 things kids today will never understand. Now, this comes from what was requested to us. It was the only one after I asked when we had done one before. This comes from Memory Trails channel. Please go subscribe to them. That's what we're all about, is supporting the creators. So yeah. Anyway, this was the one that was the only one that I got that was actually, told what to do. After we did one before, I don't remember what that one was called, but it was something about 1980s or something. Back when, anyway. But we're looking forward to this. And if there's something else y'all want to see like this, we're always happy to do that kind of stuff. You just let me know and we'll get it done. But right now, let's see what kids today will never understand. I'm looking forward to it, so let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate it very much. Let's go.
If you grew up in the 70s, you had the best childhood. But kids today, they'll never get it. No seatbelts in the back of a station wagon, Saturday morning cartoons, and recording your favorite songs off the radio onto a cassette tape.
Mixtapes.
Let's rewind and relive the magic of the 70s. The good old days, before seatbelt laws and safety regulations ruined all the fun. If your family had a station wagon in the 70s, chances are you spent half your childhood bouncing around in the back with no seatbelt, no worries, and definitely no personal space. Bonus points if your wagon had that magical rear-facing flip-up seat, where you and your siblings could make faces at the drivers behind you. No tablets, no phones. Just pure, unfiltered road trip chaos. And somehow, we all survived. Back in the 70s.
Truth. Rode in the back of pickup trucks, too. Yeah. They'd never do that today. You see it every once in a while, like if somebody's, like we got a county set of dumpsters across the road from me about, I don't know, quarter mile. And sometimes you'll see, some guys in the back of a truck going to dump, some trash or something. But yeah, you don't ride down the road like we used to in the back of a truck or a station wagon.
If your school books didn't have a custom-made brown paper cover, were you even trying?
Yeah.
We weren't about to let those textbooks get all beat up. So we grabbed a paper grocery bag, folded it just right, and boom, instant book cover. But the best part? Decorating it. Doodling your name in bubble letters, drawing Led Zeppelin logos, or covering it in stickers from your favorite band. By the end of the year, that book cover had more personality than the actual textbook inside.
Here's to S&H green stamps.
Truth. Truth. You could do a lot with a book cover back then.
And here's to the
And you didn't want to pay for that textbook, I promise you.
Now this was peak 70s shopping culture.
S&H green
Your mom
stamps,
probably
yep.
had a whole drawer stuffed with these little green stamps.
No,
And
but
if
my
you were
grandmother
lucky,
did.
you got to help lick them and stick them into the redemption book. It was like collecting baseball cards. But instead of trading for Mickey Mantle, you were saving up for a new toaster or a set of drinking glasses. And when you finally had enough stamps to cash in, pure victory. Kids today will never know the thrill of flipping through that catalog, dreaming about what you could buy for free.
Can we be there? Honey, are you okay?
I'm right here. I'm fine.
Before cell phones and unlimited plans, making a simple phone call was basically a group activity.
Yep.
If you lived in a small town, chances are you had a party line, which meant sharing a phone line with your neighbors. You'd pick up the receiver only to hear Mrs. Johnson down the street already gossiping for the last hour. And even if you had a private line, that 15-foot curly cord was a lifesaver. You could stretch it halfway across the house for some privacy, until your mom yanked it back because she needed to make a call.
That's true, too. Oh, a lot of people don't remember that. We had one on the wall in the kitchen, but we could stretch it around to our bedroom. My brother and I. Yep. Till Mom got home, of course.
Let's be
I
real.
don't know that.
The 70s were the golden era of music. If you didn't have a vinyl collection back then, were you even living? Whether you were blasting the Bee Gees, dancing to Stayin' Alive, or rocking out to Led Zeppelin, the music of the 70s had a vibe that you can't match. It wasn't just on the radio, it was in your soul. And let's not forget about disco. The glitter, the platforms, the moves on the dance floor. Nothing beats a Saturday night at the disco ball-lit club. The 70s truly had it all when it came to tunes. In the 70s, if you missed a family dinner, you were pretty much out of the loop. It wasn't just about
Yep. And record stores. We went to a lot of record stores. We had a few right around our house once we moved to the cities. We only had one in the small town I grew up in. But they carried a lot of records too. Although we couldn't buy a lot. But yeah. Record stores were huge back then.
eating, it was about connecting. Dinner time was sacred.
Yep.
The TV was off. The phones, if they even existed, were put away, and it was a no-excuse rule. Whether it was meatloaf, spaghetti, or that green Jell-O with the weird fruit inside, you know the one. Everyone gathered round the table. And if you were lucky, Dad would carve the turkey, even if it wasn't Thanksgiving. It was just a time for the family to talk, laugh, and share the day. Oh man, the thrill of hitting record on your cassette tape just in time to catch that perfect song.
Mixtape.
There was no Spotify, no YouTube. If you wanted your favorite tune, you had to pray the DJ didn't talk over the intro and that the radio station didn't mess up your recording. You'd listen to that tape on repeat, hoping the signal didn't fade out or get interrupted by some random ad. And let's be honest, those homemade mixtapes, pure gold. Every time you heard those songs, it took you right back to the moment you first pressed record. The classic American road.
Oh, yeah. Many a mixtape back then. Used to trade them back and forth if you liked metal or you liked pop or whatever the case may be. There was, ads in the newspaper, looking for X bands or artists or whatever, and you'd send them a tape,
Road trip. Before GPS, Waze, and smartphones, there were maps. The kind you had to unfold in the car,
Yup.
usually with one hand on the wheel and the other trying to keep it from blowing away. Road trips in the 70s were all about the journey, not the destination. Whether you were crammed in the back of a station wagon or packed into a van, the adventure was just as much about the stops as it was about the drive. Gas stations with those classic signs, grabbing a snack at a roadside diner, and never asking, "Are we there yet?" Oh, and don't forget those magical moments when the whole family sang along to the radio, usually to the same 5 songs over and over.
Introducing PopzReacts.
Oh my
Let's talk
God.
about the candy and soda.
Are you kidding me? Pop Rocks? Anybody remember them? I do. And Coke in glass bottles. Get them out of the vending machine in glass bottles.
That ruled the 70s. Those were the days when a trip to the corner store felt like stepping into a candy wonderland. We had everything from Pop Rocks, the ones that exploded in your mouth, to Fun Dip, which was basically just sugar on sugar. And don't even get me started on candy cigarettes. They were
yep.
basically a rite of passage for every 70s kid, even if they didn't have a single ounce of nicotine in them. As for soda, Tab was the go-to diet drink, but the true classic was a Coca-Cola in those glass bottles.
Coke.
Something about that taste just hit different. In the 70s, being outside wasn't just an option. It was a lifestyle.
Oh, no.
No one had a smartphone to distract.
Yeah, you didn't go in the house in the 70s. If you were off for the summer, you didn't see the house till nighttime. And then when you got up in the morning, you got dressed and you were gone again. If you were a kid, you didn't stay in the house at all.
them. So you spent your days riding bikes, playing stickball, or just exploring the neighborhood. The best part? You knew it was time to head home when the streetlights flickered on. That's when the real rush started. You'd race against time, praying you made it back before your mom shouted your name out the window. Those long summer days felt endless, and the world outside your door was an adventure waiting to happen. Nothing beat the simple joy of running through the sprinklers on a hot summer day. No fancy water parks or inflatable pools. Just you, the grass, and that cool spray hitting your face. You'd spend hours darting in and out of the spray, making up games or trying to dodge the stream like it was some kind of obstacle course. And if you were lucky, a neighbor would turn on their sprinklers and you'd get to join in their backyard fun, running around barefoot and laughing like nothing else mattered. No need for gadgets, just good old-fashioned, wet, summer fun. Carbon paper was the secret weapon for anyone who needed to make multiple copies by hand.
We use that at school. Carbon paper. Oh my God. Oh wow, that's true. Yep. It was a homemade copier, essentially, is what it was, right? You'd put it in between the two sheets of paper, and you'd write what you had to, and it'd come out on the other side on the other piece of paper. So you'd have 2 copies of everything, or 3 copies sometimes, you know?
Want to jot down your homework answers or write a letter but don't have a copier? No problem. Just slide that thin sheet between 2 pieces of paper, press down, and boom, you've got yourself a duplicate. It wasn't perfect, but for a 70s kid, it was a total game changer. The coolest part? You could hear it working.
Yeah.
The soft scratch of the pen on the paper, leaving that faint imprint of your thoughts.
Don't worry about the blob. Just have a good breakfast featuring Super Sugar Crisp.
A fly high balloon and super sugar crisp.
Saturday mornings were sacred. The entire week was building up to this glorious moment. Waking up early, still in your pajamas, and sitting down with a bowl of sugary cereal, the one your mom never let you eat during the week. Whether you were watching Scooby-Doo, The Flintstones, or Super Friends, cartoons were a world of their own. And let's not forget about those classic cereal mascots, Tony the Tiger or Sugar Bear. That made your cereal taste even better. No responsibilities, just cartoons, cereal, and endless bowls of nostalgia.
Now, we didn't have time around my household. We didn't have time to watch cartoons. So, being raised on the dairy farm, and then, of course, when we moved to the cities, we had sports and everything else going on. We didn't have time for Saturday morning cartoons, so I've never been a cartoon watcher. But cereal, oh yeah. Ate a lot of Sugar Crisp and things like that, you know. Was it Count Chocula, Blueberry, and all that? Yep.
Before cell phones ruled the world, if you needed to make a call, you'd have to hunt down a payphone.
Yep.
And it wasn't just as easy as picking it up. Oh no, you had to fish out a coin, a quarter, maybe even a dime, and you'd pray you didn't need to make a long call. If you didn't have enough change, you'd be stuck listening to that annoying beep as it ate your last coin, and you'd have to hang up and try to scrounge up more. But when you did have enough change, it was a mini victory. And let's not forget that satisfying sound of a coin dropping into the slot, ding ding. Malls in the 70s were the hangout spot, and if you didn't spend your weekends there, were you really living? You'd meet up with your friends, cruise around the food court, and check out the latest fashions. Half the time just to try on stuff you had no intention of buying.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Like, once we went to the cities, we had 2 malls separately, you know, that we went to on a regular basis. And there was a skating rink in between. So on Friday nights, we go to the skating rink. On Saturday, we went to the mall. You know, after school on Friday, you were at the skating rink, you know.
But the real magic, the arcade, the flashing lights, the buzzy sounds, and those classic games like Pac-Man and pinball. It was a whole different world. Getting a high score or winning a ticket jackpot felt like pure glory. And hey, if you got a handful of tokens, you were set for the day. Monday Night Football in the 70s wasn't just a game, it was an event.
Oh, yeah.
People gathered around their TVs like it was a national holiday. The excitement, the drama, and of course, the announcers with their legendary voices that made every touchdown feel like a grand moment. Whether you were sitting on the couch with your family or with a group of friends, the energy was unmatched. The halftime shows, the famous theme music, and the rivalry between teams. It was the perfect way to kick off the week. No matter what happened, Monday night felt like it belonged to football fans. The 70s may be behind us, but the memories will live forever. Share your favorite moments in the comments, and let's keep the good vibes rolling. If you grew up in...
That was a good one. That was a good one. There was a lot of good stuff on there. Whoo. Wow. Brings back some memories, you know, as you go through stuff like that. Especially for those of us that are older. I mean, that's, yeah. You younger ones, you'll never know that. That was all crazy stuff we did back then. I mean, you know, riding bikes and jumping on the sidewalk and just, I mean, just crazy stuff we did. Yeah, good times. Thank y'all for watching with me. I appreciate it. Listen, I hope y'all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know if there's some more stuff like this you want to see. We're glad to do it, all right? I'll see y'all later. This is Old Pops. We are out.